Welcome to Inside Voice, your behind the scenes take on the $150 billion home care industry. Here, it's not about the loudest voices or even polished headlines. It's about real stories, real challenges, and real insights from those shaping care every day. Join us as we cut through the noise, explore trends, and uncover what it takes to truly make a difference of the lives of those we care about. Inside Voice. If you talked about building a digital ecosystem 7 years ago, most home care owners would have laughed and said, it's just not a priority for us right now. Today, it's no longer an option. Google searches for services like home care have skyrocketed by 25% year after year. And AI is officially the fastest growing platform for services discovery. Having a robust digital ecosystem isn't just a nice to have anymore. It's more critical than ever before. To help us make sense of this shift and show us how to get ahead of the curve, I'm joined by our very own social media and communications manager, Emily Cupp. Emily is our team's mastermind when it comes to our digital footprint. She's here to break down exactly why it matters for your business. Under her watch, we've seen tremendous growth, not only across our entire franchise, but also our individual franchisees. We're excited to have her on this week's episode. Emily, welcome to the Inside Voice.
Thank you for having me.
So before we dive in, let's learn a little bit more about you. Give me a fun fact about Emily that would surprise me.
I would say that I'm a really big hockey fan. I spent a lot of my younger years when I was growing up in Camp Lejeune, North Carolina, and we would always go to Raleigh for the hockey games. And so that's kind of where my love for hockey started. So I'm a big Carolina Hurricanes fan. In case you didn't know, the Carolina Hurricanes are the Stanley Cup champions.
Yeah, well, I know that because you've told us every day for the last week that you're Stanley Cup champions.
We are.
So, yeah, that's awesome. Today, Emily, I really want to kind of peek behind the curtain on really what a digital ecosystem looks like for our listeners. And I think it looks like social media and website, SEO, PPC, kind of all gets mixed together. I want to break it down on a fundamental level and leave the listeners with some actual takeaways of tangible items they can do to enhance their digital ecosystem and how right now you can create improvement at a rapid rate if you just do a couple little things really well. Mm-hmm. So let's talk about social media first. In my mind, every business owner listening today needs to at least manage two platforms. And I would say Facebook and LinkedIn. And yes, there's TikTok and Instagram and YouTube. Those are great. Mm-hmm. But Facebook and LinkedIn seem to be a really big driving force here lately in our space. Let's tackle Facebook first. So a lot of owners, I think, have this idea of their business Facebook page being like just a digital business card. Like it has their services, it has their phone number, a link to their website, and then maybe once in a while they'll stream a post. Why is keeping your Facebook page active and updated so crucial, not only for engine optimization, but also local trust?
I love this question. So a way I would tell owners to look at their Facebook page is kind of like the front window to their business. When people look at your business from the outside in, that is what they see. And Facebook, especially when you look at the demographic on there, you have a lot of millennials and Gen Z, which oftentimes do end up being the concerned adult children, not necessarily your client, but the ones who are going to be calling you for care. So when they go to your page, mainly what they're looking for is, are they active? When was the last time they posted? Are they cold, corporate? Who are these people? What do they lead? What do they do? And so when you think of Facebook, that's really where you want to focus on your hyper-local content and show people who you are and show that, hey, we're not just this corporately owned agency. We are a franchise backed by a very powerful system, and we're here in the community to care for you.
Yeah, I think I love the way you said that. It's like it's a peak. It's a way for them to be able to see inside your business on more of a personal level. Mm-hmm. Like your website is very polished. Maybe you have a meet the team section like our site does, but Facebook is almost like a greater peek into meet the team.
Yeah.
Here's what's going on in our office. Here are things that we're doing inside of our community, as well as a professional element. Mm-hmm. And having, I believe, a strong brand authority is important. And Facebook allows you to showcase that.
Correct. Yes.
One of the things I want our listeners to be maybe wary of is what we consider here at the corporate office is AI slop. It's becoming more and more prevalent in our space where everyone now has access to a ChatGPT or a Gemini. What are the dangers of creating AI slop, which is like just a generated photo that like looks like a caregiver providing care for a senior and it has your logo, but it's not really your logo because it's generated by Gemini? What's the difference between high quality imagery being streamed through like our corporate office, which we do for our franchise owners, versus just AI slop? And why is it important to differentiate that?
Perfect. So let's start with defining what AI slop is. So AI slop is really those, like you said, AI generated pictures. And we as humans are trained to see when something is unnatural. And so when you see a person that looks could be fake, it kind of makes them want to scroll away because it's unnatural and we don't want to see it. And it also looks too perfect, too polished for social media, and it can
So
look
you're
like
actually
an ad.
saying like we will scroll away if we see something that feels unnatural?
Correct.
Wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah. So humans are trained to seek only natural things because we believe they are real. If we see AI generated people, it's eerie, it's uncanny, it looks like an ad. And
Oh, I feel that.
yeah, how many times do you see an ad say generated scroll?
Yeah. No,
And
it's true.
there's-
I do get the heebie-jeebies, or I almost get like frustrated when I get like an ad or I go and it's like I can tell it's AI. There's a part of me that like gets like
Yeah.
it establishes the opposite of credibility.
Correct. Yes. So it
Decredits.
it does decredit you. And a way that I think especially mainly millennials in my generation see it is it's the lazy, sloppy way out. It makes it look, who are these people? I'm looking at them for home care and their entire Facebook page is AI generated. And on top of that, you also have the extensive use of emojis. You have the 25 hashtags that don't even relate to what the post is. And that really just deters anyone who's going to click on your post away because they're like, oh, they spent 5 seconds on this. Whereas if you have high quality content, when I say high quality, I want to clarify, I don't mean like what we're doing here, this high produced, very, very clear photos. I mean high quality content, and like caregiver Molly is celebrating 5 years caring for Mr. James, and it's a picture of them two together, and it kind of just tells the story of her care. That is the heartwarming story that your community wants to hear. They want to see that. That's how you're going to build your credibility versus AI Sally serving AI Janice.
Yeah, and I think it brings up a greater point. I agree with you. Defining high quality is important. There's like this idea where we have these beautiful corporate stream posts that I think do develop credibility because it's attached to your brand. The imageries are usually proprietary from our own photographers taking them, and they're branded beautifully, and it instantly gives, oh, this is nice, this is a credible company. But why is it that the local, which you always push our owners to, hey, if you're at that event, take pictures and post it. Why does it seem like the local photos or what they're actually doing in their community outperform even our highly designed, high product graphics that we automatically stream on our franchisee site? Why do those local ones usually outperform?
Right. So I do want to agree with you with your point on the polished graphics we post. That does establish brand authority because it shows, hey, I'm tied to a nationally owned franchise. We are a legit, credible brand. And not only that, we're great. Like, not only that, we are very qualified to be doing what we're doing. We were handpicked by the company and they trusted us to do this. So a story the example I like to give is, I live with my Nana. I'm very open about that. I love my Nana. And if I ever came to a time where I was like, hey, I think Nana might need some home care, I'm going to get on Facebook or I'm going to search home care near me, something like that. And I'm going to go and I'm going to look at their social media. I'm going to look at a couple other things, but ultimately I'm going to end up at their social media. And I'm going to see, oh, I remember that Alzheimer's walk. They were there. They're real. They out in their community. And that is what pulls people towards you when they see you're active in your community, because you can have all the 5-star reviews, you can have the polished website, but the owner who is seen in the community and is viewed as trusted and credible is ultimately going to be the one who wins those care leads the most.
Yeah. And listen, more than ever before is AI, when someone looks up home care in their area, they look up your keywords and your name, is it putting together an algorithm of all the different digital footprints that you're attached to.
Correct.
Facebook being one of those. And so when you're active and you're posting and you're name dropping of things that are happening in your community, it gives you credibility through the AI's eyes. And so I love the way you described Facebook as an opportunity, front porch, to be able to look into the window into their house and the business, what's going on. It's a great way of leveraging Facebook. Let's pivot here to LinkedIn, which a lot of service-based owners potentially overlook in our space. Help us understand a little bit of the power of LinkedIn. Why is it important for owners to build both a strong personal profile, which I think they have an idea of, but also a dedicated business page there as well?
Okay, so when it comes to LinkedIn, everyone knows it. It's the polished, it's the business networking app, but having a personal page and a company page both serve two very important purposes when it comes to your digital presence. So your LinkedIn company page is basically your company's resume. This is what we do. Here's how long we've been doing it. And you can optimize your profile to become sort of this just overall like look into your company. And when you tie your personal profile to it, it gives you credibility and establishes your authority. You'll see preferred care at home corporate headquarters. You click on it. Who works here? Ethan Guerreri, Emily Cupp, John Reedy. And so you can see that, oh, this is a real company. Real people are working here. I would say on LinkedIn that your personal profile is 10 times more important than your company profile
agree with that.
will ever be. Because when people get on LinkedIn, they don't want to connect with a logo. They don't want to connect with the corporate account. They want to connect with a real person. And when it comes to post on LinkedIn, I would say on your personal profile, that's what matters the most. Your company profile is great to post like resources, senior resources and stuff like that.
Reposting stuff that we post as a corporate office.
Correct.
But I think like using your business profile to almost repost your personal profile is very effective.
Yes, I do recommend that to a lot of people.
One of the things that I see a lot of the time on LinkedIn that I want the listeners to be wary of is like they're using their personal profile to like post just very generic graphic, about their services or even like holidays, and that's fine. Like, hey, happy Thanksgiving to everybody. And it's just like a graphic and it's a brand, attach it to their brand. And I look at that and I go, this is okay, but you're also missing out on maybe the true element of LinkedIn, which is to establish credibility for yourself and your brand. And posting a happy Thanksgiving,
it humanizes you, but it doesn't really give you much credibility.
Right. And so what are some ways that maybe listeners should start to use LinkedIn and leverage that can do that?
Perfect. So when it comes to your, I'm saying personal page LinkedIn.
Yes, exactly.
So that is where you want to put all of your majority of your content mainly. So example I always like to give is the post that you put on LinkedIn. So Ethan did a recap post and he was like, I used to think home care was the billable hours. It was the call outs. It was this, but that's not what I remember now. I remember the chair building competitions with Seth, getting so excited when we finally got a meeting at a hospital. That is the raw business, truths that people really want to see on LinkedIn. So I think sharing industry insights or something that's in your community, like, hey, the CMS is changing. Here's how it's going to affect our state. This is why it matters. And kind of position yourself as that credible leader, but also give the raw, unfiltered business.
Absolutely.
Because that's what people want to see. On LinkedIn, it's meant to be polished and perfect, but everyone knows you're not polished and perfect.
And I'll go a step further. I don't know if people know this, but LinkedIn is one of the most important drivers for AI to be able to confirm who you are and how much credibility you have. They'll pull a lot of information from LinkedIn. Got a funny story. So Emily here is going back to school, and you're getting your master's in SEO and
digital strategy.
Digital strategies, and so she posted that on her LinkedIn that she's going back to University of Tennessee and getting that degree, and I reposted it because I'm proud of her. And long story short, someone looked up my name and profile, and they screenshot and sent it to me. And it said that Ethan is going back to school to get his degree and get his master's in SEO. And what it did is it grabbed what I posted from LinkedIn and it said, this is who you are. So what you post, what you become an expert on LinkedIn is what the AI summarizes as who you are.
Correct.
And who you're an expert in. And so you really have an opportunity to create a voice for yourself in that digital ecosystem is what we're talking about. It's fast changing, fast growing. And so those who really leverage their experience in the senior care industry, the things that they're doing, how they're preventing hospital readmissions, and they start posting this content, and not just Happy Thanksgiving with a graphic, but here are 6 ways that we've reduced readmissions for our clients. When you post that on your LinkedIn, whether you get 7 likes or 70 likes, AI, when it looks up who you are and the business locations, it's going to grab all that information. And then it's going to ultimately determine, is this a credible option for this person looking for this type of service?
Agreed. I also think something that's really important to stress is anything, Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, any sort of social media presence you have built for yourself, for your company, Gemini, ChatGPT, AI, all of it pulls it together. And so when someone searches Ethan Guerreri, what's going to populate? Inside voice Ethan Guerreri, his LinkedIn post, his personal Instagram. It doesn't matter if it's tied to you personally or your company. AI is going to pull it. And so when it comes to personal posting on LinkedIn and these other things that reflect your business, you want to make sure what you're posting has true quality behind it so that when people are looking for your services, they have all the information right there in front of them.
I love the way that we're kind of attacking this, because whenever someone says, man, I want to be searched. When someone looks up home care in my area, I want to be the number one. And what we're doing right now, I hope the listeners are following, is we're breaking down that it's not just what we're about to talk about, pivot to, which is your website, but there's also other elements, and social media is fastly becoming a really, really important element in being optimized when someone looks, because it's pulling that and it's weighting that as well. But let's pivot now to the website. So when we talk about the website, there's really 2 types of things that people think of and maybe get confused and whatnot. And so just at a high level, what is the difference between SEO and PPC? Can you break that down in like just plain English? Like, what is SEO and what is PPC, and what's the difference?
Perfect. I'll give you a definition of the two, and then I'll kind of give you an analogy of how I explain them to people. So SEO stands for search engine optimization, and it is the process of driving organic traffic to your page. Search engine optimization requires a long-term strategy that is built up and it becomes strong, and it requires constant optimizing to adjust to the new algorithms. PPC stands for pay-per-click. This is when you see your Google ads, Meta ads, 2 different things, but essentially all pay-per-click. Pay-per-click is, think of it as paying rent. So you move in, you pay your rent, you get all that, you get your utilities, you get your water, you get your lights, but the second you stop paying rent, you get evicted, or in this case, your leads stop. In
Gotcha.
SEO, think of it as like building equity in a house. It's long-term, you're there, it's building and it's constantly, and then
You have equity.
You've equity. Yeah, exactly. You've equity in your website. And so the way I recommend both these things, they're best used as a tag team. We have an owner who probably gives a better analogy than I do. He says PPC is like caffeine. It just shoots you up real quick. You want to be at the top of Google. I'm a brand new franchise. I need leads. Pay-per-click's your way to go. But it's not the only way to go. The second your budget runs out, your leads are going to stop. Your visibility is going to drop to 0. Whereas if you have SEO, which Richard, he's one of our owners, refers to it as the protein. That is what you want to be feeding your digital presence, that healthy, long-term stuff that Google loves and will cause you to gain more authority and more trust. And so those are kind of the 2 ways I explain it to people. I like the caffeine protein one better, personally.
It's not either or, it's both and. There's it's not like one's good, one's bad.
They're both really good when used together.
Yeah.
But you can't really have success with solely PPC.
Correct. Yeah, everyone wants a strong site that is optimized for their location, that when someone looks up home care in my area, organically, they're ranking highly. And that's what SEO is. It was organic ranking at the highest level, being a part of that Google Map pack and all those type of things. That's what we want. That's SEO. You can be at the top of the page if you pay money, but you're always going to be paying.
You're always going to be paying, and you're never going to build any real authority or credibility on Google.
It's a really good segue. So how do you build authority and credibility? I like how you sent me over. There's really 6 things that we focus here on the corporate office for our franchisees and for their local sites. And we've seen tremendous growth through this kind of blueprint here. 1, you said, is reviews. 2 is citations. 3 is location and service page. 4 is content and blogs. 5 is domain authority. And 6 is CTAs, which are known as call to actions. And this is kind of the blueprint that you've laid out for a healthy site that is ultimately being optimized, that cause constant maintenance. And so what I would like to do for the listener is kind of just briefly break down each one of these 6 so they understand things that they have control over and what they can do to help their site, and things that if you're part of our system, we're already doing for you. But if you're not, these are things you need to consider doing for your site to get better optimized. So first, let's start with the one area that owners, operators, employees, they have total control over. Reviews.
Yes. So when you talk about referral marketing, you're in referral marketing. Where's the best place to get referrals?
Hospitals.
Exactly. Think of Google as your hospital when it comes to your digital referral marketing. Google is your hospital. It's your word of mouth marketing. Google loves what consumers love. So when you have the stream of 5-star rankings coming through and all your reviews are like, hey, we loved it, we were happy, they were compassionate, they were caring, Google will scan this. And this is something you can do on your own.
I love that, Emily. Google loves what consumers love. If anyone learns anything from this podcast, that you should just take that away with it and you should run with it. Google loves what consumers love.
Yes. And I always tell owners when they meet with me and they're like, hey, I'm really struggling with my SEO. I'll go to the Google business profile and I'm like, go out and ask for reviews. You have so many clients and I know so many of them are happy because you give great care. You got to get that into a review and that will immediately build credibility and authority for you on Google.
No shortcuts, but just do it.
Just do it. You have to put in the work to get the results.
Yeah. And that's something completely free that
anyone can do.
Who has a Google My Business page, which you should, you can do. Okay. Less easy, probably equally as important. If you don't do this, you probably don't really have a site. Let's talk about citations and what that is and why that's important.
Okay, yes. So citations is essentially your name, address, and phone number. And essentially a citation is any place online where those 3 things are cited: name, address, phone number. And the importance when it comes to citations is complete unification on all across the board. So for example, we are 414 Clinch Avenue, Knoxville. So we put it in, we go into our citation platform, we put in our address, and we send it out.
That goes on Google, Yelp, Facebook.
Yelp, Apple Maps, Google Maps, you name it, puts out to all citations. If one little thing gets entered wrong, for example, I don't capitalize the A in Avenue, but it's capitalized an A on our business.
Or you do AVE instead of fully
spelling out Avenue.
Right.
Now you've thrown Google off because it can't tell you the difference. It'll be like, oh, that's probably similar, but this is a different address than this address, so Google reads that as a different business. And so that is really where your point of citations
You're actually bringing me back to dark days of SEO companies working independently with our franchisees, because there are new pages you can add your citations to coming up all over the place. And it was just sloppy. I mean, like you're saying, one would be this and it'd be Ave, and the other one would be full Avenue, and the citations were all out of whack. And so...
And that will hurt you in the long run.
Yeah. And so that's something that owners should be...
very aware of and conscious
very
of.
aware of. Let's talk about location and service pages. What is that and why is that important?
So locations and service pages are super important because we're a home care company. Home care is a very broad term. It could mean companionship care, post-surgery care, transition care. It could mean a slew of services. And so when you think of locations and service pages, you want to tell Google exactly the service you are performing and exactly the area you're performing it in. For example, I'll use East Tennessee because we're here. Companionship care in Hardin Valley. That is a page on their website. It tells you what they do and where they do it at.
Yeah, and for the listener, we're in Knoxville, which is the greater city. Hardin Valley is like a sub-city in Knoxville, which you definitely have that in your area. So go on.
And so that is the importance of telling Google. You can tell Google, hey, we're a home care company, and someone's going to Google home care near me, but what happens when it's like, I don't know the term home care. I think I need dementia care. And they search dementia care near me. Oh.
Sitter
near, like things like that. Those little unique individual services you have tied directly to a location is where is
24/7 care.
24/7, yeah, all of it.
Yeah.
Every service linked to every page. Now, I'm not saying you need to do one for every single service and every single little minute neighborhood you have, but the areas where you are getting a lot of that business and all of your service should have a service page, and it should always be linked to.
Yes, you're
an
talking
area.
about pretty large build outs, which we do for a lot of our
Yes.
locations, which is constant growth. I mean, you're talking about unique pages of services and locations, and in that location, unique services, and so on and so forth. You can see how that can be duplicated on and on and on. And so when we talk about SEO, you know, it's not just you're making one site, right? And you're saying, all right, you know, we have the keyword, like you said, Hardin Valley in it. That's good. No, you have dedicated pages
to that area.
Again, further optimizing and giving a larger presence. Transitioning here, number 4 would be content and blogs. What is that? Why is that important?
I love this question. So when you think of a concerned child and their adult and, hey, dad forgot his keys 5 times this week, he's slowly starting to remember things, they're not immediately Googling home care near me. They're Googling what are signs of dementia. And so these blog posts, when you think of content and blogs that are what are the signs of dementia, signs that, or how to communicate with ones with dementia, they're not immediately going for the home care route. They're looking for information. And so if your website can be a source of knowledge to them,
source of truth,
and kind of show you, hey, this is what I found online, this is a great company, and then not only they'll take your information and then they'll remember you.
Yeah.
So having those important blogs and just content on your page that not just, hey, even if you're not our client, we're here to give you the information. We're here to help you. We want to be here for you. And so that is where the blogs and locations really come into play.
And that's fresh content constantly being streamed through your site, building out your unique service location page. Let's talk about a little bit about domain authority, which is number 5. Yeah.
This is like your credit score.
Okay.
So
all right.
When it comes to domain authority, every industry is different. Home care, you sit around 38 to 47 is really where we see the higher end sitting, higher end websites sitting in home care. So this essentially means, so preferhome.com, that is our domain. We have had a site for years and years and years, and we have built up credibility. We have built up
a very high domain authority.
And so if you're part of a franchise system or our franchise system specifically, you become part of our subdomain, which means you become preferhome.com, that main domain, /locations / your territory. And because you are part of our subdomain, you automatically get that domain authority. So any franchise system, majority of franchise systems, I should say, are set up on that domain authority.
And they should be, because you should get the juice from the corporate office.
Exactly. And so we pass our credibility onto them. And then the higher the authority score or higher the credit score you have, that's just how I explain it to people, is the more trust. And you're telling Google, hey, people trust me. Hey, people find me credible. They find me helpful. And Google's going to see that. And then you're slowly going to start to see your rankings crawl up your pages.
Yeah.
Crawl up on search engines.
That's really helpful. And so locations that are just starting out, that aren't a part of Preferred Care at Home, listen, that's just something that you're going to have to build through providing quality content that people are searching and looking up, and being a resource ultimately is how you're going to grow your domain authority. Having a clean site with clean citations, all these different things affect your domain authority, years of business, all that stuff. Lastly, you put here, and I'm going to list off after 6. We have some others that you're like, these are important, but we're not going to talk about them. But last one we have here is CTAs, which are known as call to actions. What is that? Why is that important?
So a call to action is a button on your website that's simple as call now, get care now. And it takes you to a submission form where you can fill out a form and submit for a care assessment. Why these are so important is because they need to be clear on your website, easy to find, easy to use. You can have all of the website traffic in the world, but if they have to jump through hoops to find your phone number, they're bouncing from the page.
Yeah.
They don't want to deal with it anymore. They're already in a really stressful situation trying to look for home care, whatever service they're trying to look for. And now they're having to deal with a challenge of finding a way to contact you.
Yeah.
So having that call to action throughout your website where people can see it, where it's literally just says, contact us today for a free care assessment, get care now, learn more here.
It's important.
It's important to have those things so that way clients who are coming to your page see that, okay, I can get in touch with them right now.
Yeah.
I don't have to jump through several different hoops to get in contact with them. I can pick up the phone, call them, and get an assessment going today.
I think it's important for listeners to understand SEO is ever changing.
Yes.
Like what we're talking about today
could be out of date next week.
And having a team here at the office like Emily and our team behind the scenes that manage these sites for our locations is extremely important. Things that we didn't talk about is like the layout of your site, having question and answers, having issues and solutions. These are things AI likes to read. So even just the format of what you put on your site is important. Backlinks and different things like that we're associated with. These are things that you need to be doing in order to have consistent SEO. And so when someone, I think what you've done a really good job today, Emily, is one, break down like, here are 6 things that you can do that are important, that are understandable. And if you do these 6 things, hey, you're doing a lot better than most people, right?
Yes.
But there's levels to this.
Yeah.
There's nuances to it. And there's a way the site is built out. There's a way you're articulating your information that we look into to make sure it's being optimized better than everybody else, that AI likes to read it. And so it's in the details that take you from, page 1 to the top of page 1. Take you from, here are 3 options to here's the best option that AI ultimately gives you. And these are things that we're leaning into.
Yes.
I love it how it's an ecosystem. And like I said, 7 years ago when we were telling people, hey, think about Facebook, think about YouTube, start using LinkedIn a little bit more. And they go, I don't need to do that.
It's non-negotiable now.
It's a non-negotiable now.
One thing I always like to tell our owners is use today's current tools to help better someone's tomorrow. Because what if a adult parent is stressing right now and they're searching you up on Instagram, Facebook, whatever social media platform would be, and they pick up the phone to call you, and you get that care lead from social media. You just use social media to make someone's tomorrow better. Yeah. And that's one thing I really like to stress to our owners, is because I think a common misconception is social media is just, it's a fun place. I go there, I relax. It is, but it's also twofold. It is probably one of the number one ways to get your brand out there in your community.
Yeah. And with, I know this sounds like a buzzword, but with an AI, it's constantly just grabbing all this information in a millisecond.
Yes.
And it's being able to, dispatch in all the different posts and content you have streaming together, ultimately levels up your credibility and raises your ranking on an SEO level. So what was that thing you said about reviews? Google likes what?
Google likes what consumers love. Well, Google loves what consumers love.
That's right. And I think that's a good way to take away. Thank you, Emily.
Thank you.
Thanks so much for watching. If you enjoyed this episode, hitting that like button really helps the channel grow. Make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications so you never miss a drop. We're here every other Wednesday at 8 a.m. sharp. See you in the next one. Inside